Welcome to the Coastal Business Channel. I am Laura. Today we're going to discuss how to prospect as a financial advisor, or how do financial advisors prospect. What I'll tell you is my answer isn't necessarily going to work for you. So I'm going to back up a little bit. So I was a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley. So I went through Morgan Stanley's training program. And one day I was up in Westchester, their big complex, beautiful building, and they were saying they were having a seminar on how to prospect. And this woman gets up to speak, and she's very successful. She's looking all like totally professional. And someone says, have you had any success with cold calling? And she's like, oh, don't cold call. Cold calling's dead. It never works. Well, I'm here to tell you that I built my business off of cold calling. I am 4 years as a financial advisor. I will not tell you my assets under management. I don't think I'm supposed to. But I was one of the more successful, if not the most successful, trainee at Morgan Stanley that wasn't joining a parent company. So a lot of people, a parent's business. So a lot of people that were like crazy successful joined mainly their father's business, and who gave them assets. And so all of a sudden they were crazy successful. I started from zero. I did take my parents' account, and that's it. I do not have my siblings. I do not have my aunts and uncles. I don't have my cousins. I have not reached out to them, which people would probably tell you is a failure on my part. My family knows what I do. If they want to work with me, that's great. I will tell you, my hardest client is my best friend. That is the most stressful client I have. So my business is built all off of cold calling, or people I know coming to me and asking. So some tennis players I know asked if they could be clients of mine. One gentleman did contact me via my Facebook page, which I was shocked by, and asked to be my client. So that's kind of how I built my business off of cold calling. But what I will tell you is that you need to know yourself. You need to know, what do you like? Do you like to network? Do you like to go to parties at night? Do you like to, have seminars and hold seminars and try to get people that way? I don't want to give up my evenings. That's my family time, and I get tired. And I don't mind networking, at events if they were during the day. But honestly, I started in like a year and a half later, COVID happened, and so nobody was doing those anyway. And then my kids were home, and that made it very difficult. My daughter plays tennis. She's nationally ranked, and she's been homeschooled. I think she's going to go back to school. Unfortunately, she hurt herself. She hurt her knee, so she's a little bit down on tennis. So she wants to go back to school with all her friends, which I'm very happy for her to do. But that will open up my day to be able to network and all that. But usually what I do is I call people that I went to college with, or are alumni of the same schools as I am, and people that I've met over the years that I have their information. I have not bought a call sheet. I've thought about buying call sheets, but I haven't done that. But I love doing that. I mentioned a video, which if you watch, is a little embarrassing, but I have a story of where I went to the bathroom with my pants out of nerves. So I will not speak in front of a large group of people. I will not go up on a stage and speak. That I get way too nervous. I do know all the tricks to calm your nerves. So if you want to leave comments on tricks to calm your nerves, I know them. Box breathing. I do some yoga meditation. I do all of that. It doesn't fail. My brain just kind of clicks and I can't do it. Put me at a board table in front of CEOs and what have you, or a charity event when I can talk with 2 or 3 people. I am perfectly fine. In all of those situations, not. So when I was in the training program with Morgan Stanley, and I graduated the training program, and now I shouldn't say graduated the training program. I've got my licenses. I'm still in the training program, but I am all set to go call and bring on clients. That's what I did 7 of the 8 hours a day. I called. I took breaks, and then I called, and I would take a break, and I would call, and I would have lunch, and I would call. That was my way of prospecting. And I had to do it all the time, because guess what? I didn't bring on a client. I don't have a job. I don't bring on a client. I don't make money. Now, in the beginning, I made money because you have the salary. But you need to have clients in order to make money. So you need to find your niche, whatever it is, and you commit to it for 7-8 hours a day. Now, I didn't ever work on the weekends when I was in that training program because my kids were playing all tennis tournaments, and I didn't have a ton of clients that I needed to kind of now I have enough clients that I have to like do work on the weekends or do work in the evenings to keep up with the clients I have, to free up the time so I can prospect, because I still want to grow. I want to grow my business so I can hand it off to my kids. If you're into networks or seminars or, any type of events, you should be spending your time researching and signing up and going to those events. Find out where they are. You can't go to one event a month. I was friends with this gentleman at Morgan Stanley, and he's bringing on this $5 million client. And once he brings on that $5 million client, he's fine. Now, the problem is he did nothing because he was bringing on this $5 million client, and he did nothing and he did nothing. But 5 million only would cover him for the first year. The second year, I think you need to bring on like 12 million. And then the next year you have to bring on like 20. I don't remember the numbers, and I'm probably way off. Because I was always way, way ahead of the numbers. I didn't really pay attention to those. But he focused on that one client and was so sure he was going to get it. He actually didn't get the client, but he stopped doing work. You always have to be prospecting. Unless you are big and you are fine with what you're making and you're fine with the size of your business, you don't need to prospect. But as a new person, you have to realize that sales is your number one job. It's your number one job. I did not go into the office and say, okay, today I'm going to learn about, taxation of alternative investments. And tomorrow I'm going to learn about the best hedge funds. Because guess what? I didn't have any clients that needed that at the time, right? So as my clients needed services, then I would dive in and research and figure out all those services, figure out all the information, all the tax consequences, because my client needed that. But if I didn't have a client that needed it, I'm spending all that time prospecting. So I think what I've seen from other women and other people at Morgan Stanley that failed, it was not understanding that your number one job, and number two, number three, number four, is bringing on clients. You have to bring on the clients. So if you're not okay with going out, putting yourself out there and getting clients and doing all of that work, I think I read something that was like, 40 phone calls a day, 200 a week will get you, 3 meetings, and out of the 3 meetings, you'll get one client. Not even close. Not even close in my experience. Now, my experience is I'm trying to go for people, or generally my average client size is well over 1 million. So, I'm talking, I don't know, I'm making 200 calls a day on the days that I can spend my time prospecting, and I might get 0 meetings. I did have one day where I got 4 meetings, and then one person canceled on me. So it is kind of a crapshoot. You all have days. I've had a week where I've made 1,000 phone calls and I didn't get 1 meeting. 1 meeting, I didn't get 1. But guess what? I'm gonna keep trying, and I'm gonna keep prospecting. So whether it's, for me, it's phone calls. For you, it might be seminars. Maybe you have a seminar and you get 20 business cards and nobody answers your phone. No one answers your phone call. No one responds to your email. No one wants to meet you. Sucks for them. Have another seminar, and another, and another, and eventually it's gonna get better, and you're gonna do a better job giving your seminars, and people are gonna start responding. To me, it's a numbers game. It's like YouTube, right? YouTube is like a numbers game. There's gonna be somebody out there that likes my videos. I don't know who. And unfortunately, I do get email. Like, it's actually interesting. I do get emails when people subscribe sometimes, and they'll tell me their names, and I'm like, okay, am I supposed to do something with that? There's no way to click and email them back being like, thank you for subscribing. I would do that. It's obviously very easy to do that, and to send an email and thank someone for subscribing. I don't have that much information. I'll just have a name. But anyway, and then if you do have a seminar and you do have those business cards, follow up with a thank you. Thank you for attending my seminar, right? It's doing what others aren't, right? So other financial advisors aren't making 200 calls a day, and they're not making 1,000 calls a week. And when they get somebody on the phone, they have a nice conversation. I'll see on the internet, if I know what town they live in and I know their phone number, or maybe I know their state, can I find them on the internet where their address is? It might be a little stalkish, but I'll send them a note and just thank you. I leave it at that. If they wanted me to follow up, I'll follow up later. But I do try to, do things that other financial advisors aren't. I tell you I'm responsive. Well, I can show you through my actions that I'm responsive, and I can tell you I pay attention to detail. Well, I can tell you again through my actions of our conversations. When I send you that note, I asked how your trip to Hawaii was, because I sent that note after they left, right? So there's ways that you can, and you can do that with a seminar and networking. Follow up with note cards. See if wherever you're working or for yourself, can you make up personalized note cards that you can then send out? Ask permission if you're working for another firm, if you can do that. They might have, you have to use their stationery and this and that. But do those things that set you apart and make you seem more appealing than the other financial advisors that are all doing the cookie cutter thing. Anyway, find what you love, what you like to do, what you're comfortable doing, and that's how you should prospect. Thank you so much for watching my video. Have a nice day.